There is an innate drive in many of us to make a difference. And we want to influence positive change for a better world. We want to grow communities and support individuals. And there are many pathways to making an impact. Today, we're in luck. I have three women leaders who have insights and wisdom and advice on how you can make a difference, help more people, and build the dream world that you have in mind. So I'm super excited. Let's go say hi to him. Hi, Anne-Marie.
Well, hi, I'm Anne-Marie Youlio, and I'm a founder and CEO. And by training, I'm a clinical pharmacist. You can find me online at dryoulio.com, and I'm in the Tampa Bay, Florida area.
Wonderful to have you here, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Lauren Kirby. I live in the Northern Virginia area. I'm a risk and audit manager by trade and a lifelong volunteer. And you can reach me at contact us at previewtodestiny.com.
Wonderful to have you, Lauren. Thanks. And Bibi, hi.
Hi, my name is Bibi LeBlanc. I am a founder and CEO and speaker as of recently, and you can find me at culturetocolor.com. And I am in Central Florida.
All right. We've got Florida in the house here and Virginia,
Yep.
and I'm in San Diego. I'm Laura Rubinstein, your host and producer. As I said, we're talking about pathways to making impact. And each of you have wisdom that I wanted to tap into. And I wanted to go over to you, Anne-Marie, and ask, what advice do you have for our viewers to get onto this pathway to making their mark and making a difference?
Sure. Thanks, Laura. I try to tell people to say yes to opportunities, to learn something new, to grow, to, open yourself up to new challenges. And part of that is just, opening up yourself because you don't know what you like to do. You don't know who you're going to meet on this new path. You don't know what you're going to love. So open yourself up. And one little secret about that is that you don't have to have it all figured out. You can just take a step forward and just get on that path and try something new.
And when I think about trying something new, I kind of am a deer in headlights. Is there something that I could figure? Where should I start? I guess is the question.
Yeah, a lot of times you get overwhelmed with, oh, I want to go here, and it's 20 steps down the road. But if you just take one step, you
Mhm.
choose to talk to somebody that's maybe doing, something in a career that you want to do. You want to, start running a marathon. You don't just start running marathons, go out for walks first. So just take that one step to move towards that goal.
Literal steps with the marathon. I love
Yeah.
that. Well, thank you. Yes, I agree. Saying yes to little opportunities and we don't have to have it all figured out. Brilliant advice. So now I want to go over to Lauren and ask you, what advice do you have for our viewers to start carving their pathway to more impact?
Yeah, so my advice really to find a pathway is just to really acknowledge that there are people already crossing your path who have crossed your path for a reason. And as a lifelong volunteer and advocate for volunteerism, I can tell you that they were put there for a reason for you to encounter them and get to know them and look beyond just what you see on the outside. There's so much more going on when you get to know people and you realize what they're really going through in their life journey that really nobody else knows about. And it's at those times when you realize that you can make a good friend, but you also can help someone on their journey when they know more about you and what you have to offer. And so, my advice is find a cause that breaks your heart. If it breaks your heart, that is your sign that it's an immediate connection with you, and there's so many things that do cross your path that don't break your heart. And those are signs that that's not for you. But the ones that really do are the places where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to serve. So follow that instinct and learn more about that cause. And then the second thing is really to prioritize that in your life because you will be a better person because you have given of yourself freely. You've made someone else's life better. And overall, you've just made the greater good in this world so much better. So prioritize your time, make those commitments and stick to them. And you'll find that overall, you'll have volunteering to add to your resume and to your career, and you'll make everybody happy.
Yeah, and that's such a wonderful way to make an impact. And it's so great to have your wisdom and experience here to just encourage us to keep on doing that and making it a priority. So thank you. And Bibi, I wanted to ask you, from your point of view, what advice do you have for our viewers to carve a pathway to more impact?
One of the biggest things I've learned is that you can't do everything yourself. Like you're only one person. And like for myself, I'm so full of ideas and there's so much creativity and stuff. Build a team around you, build a good team that is there to support you and that you trust them and delegate. Delegating is a big deal for some people. But it's really important if you can do that, that then you can be so much more creative and, let those ideas flow and have a much bigger impact. And also, I think not just trusting your team, but trusting yourself. Follow your gut reactions and, you know, be let that guide you. I found that so much sometimes things happen or people come into my life, like you said, Lauren, they come there for a reason and be able to just follow that and trust that. And because it leads to amazing things sometimes, I've found.
Are there a couple of things that are easy to delegate or that you've delegated that can give us some ideas on that delegation? Because like you said, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things in my just day to day of my business that are just super time consuming. And if I can delegate them to somebody else, like it can be signing me up for networking meetings, for example. Like I go to chamber meetings and to networking things. Let somebody else do the signing up, so I can have creative time or work on bigger, more important things. Like I want to work on the business, not in the business. We've all heard that saying, right? So, or travel arrangements or, the accounting, whatever you don't enjoy doing, fully delegate it
I love that.
if you can, And
Yeah.
sometimes that takes a little while to get to that point, but, when the time's right, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and do the baby step. Take that first
Yes.
step. So I love this compendium that we just put together of advice for making a greater impact, whether it's just starting with those first steps, saying yes to opportunities, looking for the people who are already in your pathway. And if you're looking to make a difference, especially if you're not knowing where to go, I love this idea of volunteering with what breaks your heart. And then if you have a business that is making a difference and you want it to make a bigger difference, you've got to delegate, you've got to trust yourself. I mean, like, look, we just gave such an amazing amount of advice here. It's really truly brilliant. So thank you, ladies. Let's get to know you a little bit better. Like, what do you do with your wisdom? So Anne-Marie, would you share who do you work with and what do you do with them?
Oh, absolutely. So I work with healthcare organizations, women's organizations, and leadership groups. And I'm usually coming in either as a speaker or a trainer or doing consulting, but I'm brought in to usually fix a problem. There's a gap. So when I come in, my goal is to really share that power of yes, giving people that opportunity to step forward. I'm usually coming in and giving different pathways to solutions. And, like the other said, it's tying those right tasks to the right people so that people can be successful and expand their careers and, just be excited about their work again.
Yeah, when they have that passion, they're making a bigger difference too in the organizations and in the world. So thank you for that work. Is there a story about that you could share about how you came to this work?
Sure, absolutely. So early in my career, I really just had blinders on. I thought this is what I'm doing. I wasn't looking outside of what I was doing. I was happy with what I was doing. I was working for a great organization, had a great department, so things were really good. Well, as the company grew, a new director came in, as most of us have had happen, and we just didn't see eye to eye. So after a time of being unhappy, it was time for me to move on. So I, looked outside the organization, but there was another director in the organization who said, "Hey, Anne Marie, I have a position as in project management. Would you like to apply for it and, move, into my department?" I was like, I hadn't done project management, never even considered it. But long story short, I applied for it. I got, moved into that position, and I found out I was a natural project manager. I loved it. I would have never even considered it. So it was such an opportunity that she saw in me. And because I really didn't like that other director, it really moved my career in a whole nother way, and just really broadened things for me.
Great. And you are an example of saying yes to opportunities that come in your path, and not like saying, no, I might fail. Yeah, you might fail, but you might succeed too, right? It's great.
And you might be really happy with it.
Exactly. So, and that's what we want. We want you to be able to make an impact and be happy about that impact. So, speaking about that, Lauren, why don't you tell us about who you work with and your volunteering, and what you do in your volunteering?
Sure. So it really starts with me about how I got started and what set in motion sort of my life's journey. And that was a traumatic injury when I was 4 years old in West Africa. And my brother and I were racing in the house. And certainly our parents, don't race, somebody's going to get hurt. And that day was my day for that. So I went through the sliding glass door. And as my arm sort of rose instinctively to shield my face, I, sliced through the artery in the crook of my arm, took the wrist and things like that. So, being in West Africa, not having medical attention for many hours until I was flown to Stuttgart, Germany, there's really no reason that I should have survived that day. So I grew up sort of knowing that. And so that set in motion, why am I still here? And my parents were atheists. I had no Christian background, but later in my life, I did become a Christian, and I just really prayed for where am I to serve? I'm here for a reason, and where am I to serve? And so, the story is really that after the prayer, I received 5 dreams over a period of 9 years, and those dreams were very vivid, and they led me to a specific type of work. And so I began volunteering as a hospice volunteer. Was not something that I would have gone to organically. I thought it was sort of scary and creepy, but I just knew in my heart of hearts that's where I was being led to go. And so I volunteer there. So I spent 25 years doing hospice volunteering, in homes and nursing homes and things. Became a public speaker and a trainer, did a lot of the marketing, did a lot of the volunteer training and things. And then over years of just sort of being at bedsides and things like that. Now I do more advocacy. I do more what I call demystifying hospice, because so many people don't call just because the word is a scary word to them. And so I've realized that my next calling is really just sort of to describe, what it is, what are the benefits of it, what can happen if you don't call, and just try to get folks to understand what it really is, and that death and dying is something we're all going to go through, and we're only going to go through it once with ourselves, and we're only going to go through it a couple times with relatives and spouses, and so we're certainly not experts. And so when the time comes, first of all, you need to recognize that it is time, and it's time to make that call, and then understand that this is just a process that we go through, and our bodies know how to do this, and people in this space know how to care for us. They're experts. There's nothing they haven't seen before. And so that helps to just bring that fear level down and trust the people who are around you to help you get through this, until the time comes. And so I've been really blessed by it. I've learned so much. My fear of death has left me. And oddly enough, my parents died suddenly, and I didn't experience it with them. But that's what I enjoy, and it surprised me that I enjoy it as much as I do, based on the time. But you just become part of the family, and you help folks get through it at a tough time.
Yeah, it's exquisite work and it's sacred work. And it's such a blessing that you found it and you do that. And thank you for sharing it with us. And so, Bibi, let's learn a little bit more about your work and who do you work with and what do you do with them?
I work mostly with businesses. We're a business to business kind of business. And I feel like I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I grew up in Germany during the Cold War, and that was not something that was nurtured or even talked about as a possibility that, anybody can start a business. And I will say it's probably not as easy in Germany as it is here in the US. So I married and moved over here many moons ago and started a business right away at the suggestion of my husband. And at first it was very foreign to me. I can just do that. But I did jump into it to feed first, or yeah, anyway, and have had several businesses over the years. So today I have a boutique marketing company and we create explainer coloring books that look, for example, like this. This is a local restaurant, and they wanted to highlight some of the local sites here in town. And then, so explainer coloring books, you have a lot of text. Your typical coloring book, you just have images, but here you have a lot of text with it. And then in the middle, they have the children's menu. And then they have a recipe also with a QR code where the chef makes a recipe with her kids. So a video, that goes to that. And then there's an information page, how to get in touch or where they are, a QR code to their menu, those types of things. So we can do that for any type of business or organization. We've worked with nonprofits. We're working with a museum currently, and universities, destinations. We've done quite a few destination books. And so that's what we do.
How fun is that? And what a brilliant marketing idea.
And it came out of just my love for photography and people and hearing their stories. I love asking people questions and letting them do the talking. I know my stories. It's so much more interesting to hear other people's stories. And so that all kind of came together when I created the first book, and really that was just a fun project to do. But that was 6 years ago, and now we're going on 40 books and working, with all kinds of businesses, and it's a lot of fun. And that was one of those things, just following my heart and trusting my gut, and seeing what happens. And so amazing things have happened as a result.
That is so incredible. And it's just another way to carve a pathway for those organizations to make impact. Mm-hmm. So I love the ideas that are flowing through this whole episode. And I love that you women are here as a part of Women Speakers Association. I mean, this is the type of women that we want to support. And I would like to hear from each of you, what's the value of being a part of our sisterhood at Women Speakers Association? Anne-Marie, would you like to share a little bit about your insights?
Yeah, Women's Speakers Association has been wonderful. I love the collaboration. I love just feeling that motivation from the other women. And I will be in the next book of Voices of the 21st Century in 2025. So it's just given me a lot of opportunity. And I just love being on this path with other like-minded women.
Yeah, it's great. And we're honored to have you. You're writing the foreword, as I understand. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. It's a different one. Oh, it's a different Anne-Marie. Okay. My bad.
Well, she's an Anne-Marie, so she must be lovely.
Yes, absolutely. And I can't wait to read your story. Awesome. All right. And Lauren, why don't you share about what's the value of Women Speakers Association to you?
What I found is just the volume of information that you receive. and you are evolving in your knowledge and your skills. And I tend to be introverted, so it has really helped me in my path. So, for example, Bibi held up her book, so I'll hold up my book. My book is called Preview to Destiny, and Preview to Destiny is the story about the dreams and what happened after the dreams as well. And I'm just looking forward to helping just continue to grow, meet some new people, and just learn about their journeys. And maybe I can help someone who's going through an end of life situation or wants to talk about volunteerism.
I bet you will be able to do that. And thank you for that generosity there. And Bibi, tell us about the Valley of Women Speakers Association for you.
I've gotten a lot of inspiration from the group, and just having like-minded people is always a good thing. And having the Facebook group, when I got my first speaking gig, I posted something on there. This landed in my lap, and I didn't know, now how do I move forward? When do I get payment? When do I ask for that? And so I posted it in the group and got a lot of answers. And that was super helpful. One of the things it mentioned is when they signed the contract, I'm like, what contract? So now I have to come up with a contract. So just learning and growing and having people to ask when I have questions, the community of it.
Yeah. I love that too. You can get feedback on things, learn things, and partner with people. So if you're interested in learning more about Women Speakers Association, I want to let you know your message matters, your voice matters, what you're up to in the world matters. Even if you don't consider yourself a speaker, you're always talking. You're talking to clients or prospects. And I'd like to invite those of you watching to check us out at joinwsa.com. Or if you want to put your toe in the water, we do have a speaker success plan you can download for free at speakersuccessplan.com. So this has been a very rich call and episode. And thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your wisdom, for generously donating your time here, for volunteering in the world and making a difference also in the lives of your clients. It's just awesome to be in sisterhood with you. So we will be back next week with another episode, or the week after, actually, of our WSA TV and previewing for you our next training. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bibi, Lauren, and Anne-Marie. Bye for now.
Thank you, Laura.